Alright, so this week, it's finally here, the long-awaited matchup between the Steelers and the Tennessee Titans, which they would have been undefeated either way, whether it was during week 4 when it was supposed to be played or this week, but now it's more important than ever because now both teams are 5-0, and there's been I've been seeing a lot of things on social media, like CBS Sports had a thing where they basically said that whoever wins this game stands the best chance to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl because they had like these statistics of like undefeated teams going up against each other, and the winner of those games eventually go on to play in the Super Bowl, which it puts a lot of pressure on both teams. But I guess that's a way to do so, to kind of build this up even more. But either way, this should be a really good matchup. Like, yeah, the Tennessee Titans, say what you will about what they've been through the last couple of weeks, the fact that they have been the main forefront of where the COVID outbreaks have been in the NFL, but for the most part, they've held on. They've been playing pretty well. They've scored over 80 points in the last 2 games. Derrick Henry is a main threat. Ryan Tannehill is still doing very well. He's doing a lot better in Tennessee than he ever did in Miami, and that's saying a lot because he was in Miami for like 7 years before he eventually made it to Tennessee, and then look at what happened with him, which puts a lot of pressure on the Steelers because the Steelers are playing some of their best football that I've seen them play in a while, but at the same time, I think last week was their best complete game. You blow out the Cleveland Browns the way they did. That says a lot, and they're going to need a lot of that going into this game, which is going to be really tough because Tennessee has ways to beat the teams around. Like, it's not just... for the Steelers, the biggest problem they have to deal with, you not only have to stop Derrick Henry, which is incredibly hard to do, especially in the second half, but you also got to stop Ryan Tannehill because I watched his games against Buffalo and Houston, and the way he throws the ball and he's able to find those targets so easily is incredible. Like, I can't believe that, like I said before, I can't believe that this guy spent 7 years in Miami and couldn't do anything, but then he comes to Tennessee and all of a sudden he's a stud. So, but Houston did give the Steelers some indications on ways that they could possibly beat the Titans. Because, they put up 30... I can't remember, what was it, 34 points? Let me double check. 36 points. So, yeah, that's the most points the Titans have given up this season. It definitely gives the Steelers offense a chance to work with that. Plus the fact that the Steelers were already planning for this game in Week 4... They've had extra time now to really focus on what they need to do to beat this team. I want to say the Steelers win, but I'm not going to jinx it. I'm that kind of a person that if I say something on social media or something like that, it automatically doesn't happen. Like I thought the Giants were going to lose on Thursday. We're going to win on Thursday night, but then lo and behold, the Eagles end up coming back and scoring 12 unanswered points, and so yeah, like my heart says go with the Steelers, but honestly, I think Tennessee's going to win this one. Like, I really do think the Tennessee Titans are going to find a way to win this one because of Derrick Henry, because of Ryan Tannehill. I think the Steelers will make it close because the Titans' defense has not been playing that well. Jadeveon Clowney was supposed to be the big addition to get them over the edge, and so far he's been good, not great, but we're still very much early on in the season, so I don't know how that's going to turn out, but like I said, I still have this belief that the Tennessee Titans will come out and win this game. They've got the home field advantage, they got the fans there. It's going to be a more hostile environment because this will be the first time the Steelers will play in an away stadium with fans in the stadium. And this was one of the games that I thought, okay, if the Steelers are going to lose any games in the coming weeks, this is probably one of them. I could also see them losing to Baltimore next week, especially with the additions they've made. So, if they can make it to Dallas to go 5-2, I think the Steelers will be perfectly fine. But if the Steelers find a way to win this game and win against Baltimore to really show that they're just as good as everyone thinks they are right now, I'm going to be I'll turn my view around. I think there's definitely optimism there that the Steelers can really pull off something incredible that we haven't seen in a while now. But for this game, I'm going with my brain here. I'm thinking Tennessee's going to win this one. I think it's going to be close, but I think Tennessee's going to pull out the win. Could go to overtime. Could be dependent on a Stephen Gostkowski field goal. But I think Tennessee is going to be the one that pulls out this victory. So that's my thoughts going into this game, and we'll just wait to see what happens.
Subject to change. Make sure to check out the FanDuel Sportsbook app or website for the most up-to-date odds.
It's time now to beat the bus. Jerome, we all picked the same games last week, so no movement in the standings. But will that change this week? We'll take a look at the current standings right now. I'm still in the lead at 18-5. You're right behind me at 17-6, and I'll be sitting at 15-8. Man, we were wrong with that Rams 49ers matchup on Sunday night. So let's kick things off with the game of the week. The Steelers at the Titans. Jerome, who are you going with?
I'm going with the Steelers to win this football game. I think it's going to be a nail-biter, but the Steelers ultimately win the game.
And we'll turn it to all of our picks. We are all taking the Steelers to win the battle of the undefeateds and hand the Titans their first loss. The FanDuel Sportsbook line as of this show taping is Steelers by 2.5, so a really close one there. Next, the only other AFC North matchup of the week with the Ravens on a bye. The Browns in Cincinnati. Cleveland the slight favorite here at the time of the taping, and all three of us have them bouncing back against the Bengals. And rounding things out, Sunday night showdown between Tampa Bay.
You can tell this was taped before they made the changeover.
This is where we have the only shakeup of the week. The Bucs are favored by 3. You and Albie are picking them to win.
It's supposed to be Seahawks and Cardinals on Sunday night now, and Buccaneers and Raiders is a late afternoon game.
Remember to check sportsbook.fanduel.com for up-to-the-minute betting lines.
Here are today's Pepsi Picks, brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, here we go with the picks. Rich, you're up.
I have a bad feeling about this one. I know the Steelers could score points, but the Titans can't too. They've had the ability to come back and win games. I like the Titans. 34-31. I think Ryan Tannehill is the difference.
All right, Charlie, what do you say?
This is the first true road test for the Steelers here. I just don't have a good feeling in my gut with this. I'm going with the Titans being at home 24-23 today.
All right, Jerry Dulac had his pick, and this is it. He also is going to go with Titans at 27-24. I like the Steelers, and I like them relatively comfortably, just because I think their defense is going to shut down Tennessee to some degree, and Tennessee will not be able to shut down the Steelers. We'll find out. It's all coming up, and that's going to do it.
Presented by Pepsi for the latest news and updates on your matchup.
JV battle of the unbeatens today here in Nashville. A game originally scheduled for Week 4. They will play it this afternoon in Week 7. The Steelers and the Titans. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Charles Davis. Really looking forward to this slugfest. We know, it's no secret, what the business model is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Control the clock. They're number 2 in the NFL in time of possession. And so far, so good in the running attack because James Conner has been on a hot streak, CD.
And our colleague London Fletcher said the Terminator is back. 3 100-yard games. He takes care of the ball in late game situations.
Defensively, Tennessee has seen second-year pro Jeffrey Simmons have a major impact on their front.
This is exactly why they drafted him number 1 last year. Control the line of scrimmage, put pressure on the quarterback.
Steelers have been spreading it around on offense, though Juju Smith-Schuster's numbers have been modest so far.
They may be modest, but he's due a breakout from the slot position. He catches a 3-yard pass and turned it into 40.
He may see a lot of veteran corner Malcolm Butler today, part of this highly experienced Titans secondary.
He is really playing well this year. Takes on number 1 receivers and has joy in doing it.
As you know, Charles, Blitzburg is alive and well. They lead the NFL in sacks. Bud Dupree had 2 in last week's lopsided win over Cleveland.
He really broke out last year, continues to ascend, putting pressure on quarterbacks with every snap.
And Tennessee has the number 2 scoring offense in the league, tight end Jonnu Smith. He has certainly done his part with 5 touchdowns on the season.
And he'd like to celebrate National Tight Ends Day with another score, 5 of them this year.
Coming up, more on the Titans. King Henry rules. Phil Simms goes one-on-one with Derrick.
What was that at the end? I mean, I get what they were trying to do. Ben Roethlisberger was just like, okay, I'm going to throw this down to the end zone. Hopefully, someone's there. Gets picked off, and then Tennessee. I don't know what's going on with them today. But as you saw, the score is 24-7. Steelers pretty much dominated in the first half, which I think that's what Tennessee wanted. That's the thing I'm worried about with this. Yeah, they got the 24-7 lead. The Steelers do, but the fact that the Steelers got the ball for most of the first half, they've pretty much gotten a control of Tennessee overall, both offensively and defensively. Tennessee's been making a lot of mistakes here, but they're waiting for the second half to make a move. Like 24-7, it seems like it's a lead that the Steelers can't really break. But like I said last week, I've seen the Steelers blow a big lead like that before. So I'm going to keep my expectations in check. I know, like Tennessee, I know is going to come back in the second half. I know they're going to do that because they still have Derrick Henry there. They're going to make changes in the second half. Ryan Tannehill's still there, and yeah, I think Tennessee's going to come back in the second half. But I got to say, for the Steelers, they're doing a pretty good job. They haven't made a lot of mistakes. They made that one mistake at the very end of the half, but there's been passes that on both teams that could have easily been intercepted or gone the other way, but so far Pittsburgh's not making the big mistakes right now. We'll see if that holds as the rest of the game goes on, but right now the Steelers are looking pretty good, 24-7, 6-0. One of these two teams is going to go to 6-0. My hope is that the Steelers are going to do it, but I picked the Titans to win, so it's a good game so far. It's actually a good game so far, and I know it's going to get tougher as it goes on. Like I said, 24-7 looks like a blowout right now, but the Tennessee Titans can score pretty fast. This is a team that scores 40 or more points in the last 3 games, so I'm not ready to count them out yet. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Steelers can somehow pull out the win here, but like I said, I picked the Titans, so we'll just see what happens. Oh, that looked like it was in. Oh, so close to almost disaster. Wow. They're going to escape with the Steelers are going to escape with a win. Holy crap. Oh.
That was a 45-yarder. Steelers take
I told you they were going to come back, but man.
to 6-0. The Titans suffer their first loss, 27-24. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
And again. Oh my God. They almost blew, and in fact, they should have blown it, but wow, what a finish that was. I mean, it's like I said, the Titans were going to come back in the second half. I knew they were going to do that, but they almost took the game away. They would have deflated the Steelers at that point, but by just that one missed field goal by Stephen Gostkowski, the Steelers are now the lone undefeated team in the AFC at 6-0. I mean, just wow. Every week you think it's not going to get any. Your heart's not going to race much more than what happened in one specific game, but that was too much. That was way too much. Like when Ben Roethlisberger threw that ball into the end zone and it got picked off, I thought it's over. They're not coming back from this. And lo and behold, they came back. The Steelers won by the tiniest of inches. Like, if you watch that field goal in the replays, it looked like it was going to go in. It looked like it was going to go right in, and it just misses by that much. And Stephen Gostkowski has been doing pretty well with the kicks, even though he missed a couple of big ones in the Broncos game at the start of the season. He's been pretty good since then, but oh boy. So, I'm in a glass case of emotion right now. I mean, oh my God, when that happened, I screamed so loud. I thought my family downstairs was gonna come up and think I got injured or something. I bruised my leg or something. I got hurt or something. But oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a game! Like, it lived up to the hype. And it won't be the last time the Steelers and Titans face each other. If the Steelers make the playoffs, if the Titans make the playoffs, which they both will, I guarantee you this is going to be a matchup in the playoffs, and probably Tennessee will come back and beat the Steelers down the lines. But you never know. So yeah, just like that, the Steelers are 6-0, and now they got to face Baltimore next week. Which, how do you go into M&T Bank Stadium and beat one of the best teams in the NFL? Because that's what Baltimore is right now. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's sure going to be fun to watch next week.